Welcome to Unpacking Culture. I am Alex Haynes.
And I'm Tiff
Hello,
Lanelle.
Tiff Lanelle. How are you?
Hello, Alexander Hamilton. I'm great. How are you?
Wow, not my name.
I'm in an Alexander Hamilton kind of mood. Sorry.
Still not my name.
I'm
Uh,
aware.
all right, so if you're just tuning in for the first time, welcome. If you're not tuning in
Welcome.
for the first time, welcome.
Welcome.
This is like week 4. I know people are just starting to get into the room, and it's all that. If you're listening to us, I'm gonna get away from all the extra introduction stuff this week. If you're listening to us, maybe you subscribe to the podcast. Welcome, thank you. We appreciate you.
Welcome.
This is week 4.
For
Okay, 4. So any technical difficulties that you see or we experience, we're not planned. We're just still new, and so we can be new. We gonna be new, and you
and
gonna
we
be new,
gonna be.
and we gonna be new. All right.
Hmm.
So if you don't know anything about this show, I'm not gonna cuss at you today,
Wow.
but you should learn because this is a great place. It's a safe place.
Hmm.
And this is a place that we look at Black culture, we
Hmm.
examine Black culture,
Hmm.
we engage, and I feel special because I just got a notification about my own show. That's
As did I.
the last time that happened. If you want me to be honest, the last time that happened was when I was on the radio every day. And there used to be notifications about my show every day. I think
I
I
got
just,
them.
I think I just had a moment.
It sounds like it. You
Wow.
gonna be okay?
Well, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Um, I'll be more fine when I get some of what we're talking about tonight.
All right. Dang, you starting early.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. I'm
Okay.
actually gonna save it to the weekend. I really have to be productive. Had a very busy week. I'm deserving of it all.
Uh, Listen. Okay. Do you, boo? I ain't mad.
And that's that on that.
And
All
that's that on
right.
that.
So just to summarize, if you missed last week, we really talked about some things that I wish almost that part of that was happening today. Because I just want to say, and I know you like to do honorable mentions. That's you. That's all you. That's not me. But I'll say this about this. A video was released this week of Sandra Bland. No, we're not talking about her tonight.
Whew.
But if you black, I'm black, we black. If you're not black, you still need to know. They don't treat us right. They don't care. And there's no reason we're seeing this video 3 years later.
Right.
If you don't know the story of Sandra Bland, she was a black woman, 28 years old, which would mean, honestly, if you want me to be honest, I did the math. She was literally like 22 days younger than me. All right. So that's why it hits home. That's why I care. I mean, I would care either way, but like that's why I care. It's important that we know that she was pulled over. From what we know, this person should
Hmm.
be in jail. He should be locked up. Actually, if he had been, I'm gonna just leave it like Texas and Florida. Y'all get away with a lot of things because you got people that maybe they're just too lazy to do something. But you really, the rest of y'all shouldn't be looking at Texas or Florida as examples for anything. All right, so anyway, long story short, Sandra Bland, she was arrested for a minor traffic stop, failure to use her signal. We all do this. We all. I mean, I don't. I don't drive anymore. Uh, you know, I have. Anyway, failure to use her turn signal. The officer asked her to get out of the car. She asked why. He had his taser in her face. He held it up to her. He was ready to let her have it. What we did not know was that she had recorded the entire incident herself. And so that video was released on Monday by a Dallas TV station, WFAA. And they released the video that showed 39 seconds of her interaction with him. Now, he's not in jail. He said that he was threatened for his life. I encourage you to watch the video. It's not our topic tonight, so I have to move on. But if you're listening on the podcast, hit the Unpacking Culture Facebook page. If you're watching right now, don't pause me. Do it when we get off the air. I will knock you in your face, okay? But watch the video, 39 seconds. You tell me if he feared for his life. You also watch that and tell me if this seemed like a woman that wanted to take her own life. And on that note, this is why we're having a conversation about what we're having a conversation about today, because it should be okay for us all.
Listen, okay, so how you want to work this? You want to start from the roots, as some of my kin folks say, or
when we talk marijuana, right? So let's just take it back.
Let's say all the names: marijuana, Mary Jane, the weed, the ganja, the pot, the. Okay, you feel away.
I don't today, but this weekend, like I just told you, I would be just fine. All right, fine.
How did I know you were going to Mary J. Blige? Like I just felt it that it was coming.
After it. It makes sense. Okay, so let's just take it back. I want to let's do it this way. We're both born in '87, right?
Yes.
That makes us not old.
Not old.
So, all my life.
Oh
I don't
my
know what that did to me. All my life. These people told us that marijuana was a gateway drug to everything else.
Yes.
That is what, and I, listen, I all through elementary schools all over this country, it's the DARE program. DARE to keep kids off drugs.
Yep.
I had a shirt. You could win pizzas if you know all types of stuff. If you sign the pledge, I will never do drugs. I will never do drugs. DARE take weed off, y'all. Take it off. Take it off. Because these lies that were peddled to us over and over and over again. All right, so if you're watching and you're like, you know what, I still think it's a drug, y'all tripping, y'all just playing into the, no. We came tonight prepared to talk to you. Or talk to you, podcast listener, with some facts, okay? And we're going to talk about not only how it came about that it became illegal in this country, which is a viable and necessary conversation. But it's also important to talk about who was targeted when it was made illegal, why they made it illegal.
I will never guess the answer.
Oh, you already know.
You already know.
And then, as we take it further, as they are beginning to legalize it, who is also not getting any benefits from it? Listen, if I had a Jeopardy board, I'm not Alex Trebek, but if I was, and I had all of the categories, they would all have the same thing behind every number: black.
No, some should have brown.
Okay. Maybe. You're right. I give you that.
Just saying.
All right. Kick us off.
Okay, so I'm going to try and do a very quick rundown of the roots of marijuana. So it started off in Asia, came over in some trade routes to Texas and Louisiana, and basically folks started to notice that, hey, all the brown people down south are starting to smoke this new weed. And if they're doing it, it must be bad because Mexicans and blacks are the troubled groups of the U.S. Now, this is in the 1900s. So yes, 1900. I know you thought I was talking about today because
Oh
it
no,
sounds
I didn't.
familiar.
Take us back.
Yes, so
Give us the facts. So in
1900.
1900,
Uh-huh.
the United States saw that a
Uh-huh.
lot of people of color
Uh-huh.
were smoking a plant.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so in
A plant that if you should so happen to light it, there are some side effects.
1900.
19 in the early 1900s.
I got you. I'm right here.
So,
Keep going.
because these people of color groups are considered the trouble groups of the time, well, if they're doing it, it must be bad. We need to put a stop to this and associate it to them. So they changed the name of this weed to marijuana.
Wait a
Now,
minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So you're telling me that the United States named the plant
correct.
marijuana?
That is correct.
Wow.
And in federal documents, depending on what you're looking at, it will either be spelled with a J or an H. Same thing. But they renamed it to associate it to the Mexican people. So some newspapers would call it the Mexican weed. Some people would call it marijuana. That's literally what it said in newspapers.
Wow.
Not making this up. So then the Great Migration to the north of the Black people and brown people started to happen. We started to move to Chicago and New York and all those different places. And I cannot go beyond this without saying that all of the jazz greats were smoking of the marijuana.
I think you've
So
given us plenty.
it was a big thing. Um, so they started to move up north. The up north people were like, "Wait a minute, you're going to come up here and seduce our white women with this drug, and we can't have
Wait,
that."
wait, 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 wait. So the fear was we were gonna bring something up to what were we going to do? Poison the white women? Yeah, yeah. I kind of thought so. Oh well. On to that. Um, she'll be back with us in a second. Like I told y'all, technical difficulties, deal with it because we're dealing with it. Okay, so the way that this all worked out, the United States. I know part of the story. You know, we're teammates here, so we're all in this together. Um, the United States saw that, or they feared that people of color would bring and expose white women to this drug that made you do all types of crazy things. And so, what happens anytime that they fear us? There's, I mean, I can give you radio silence and tell you what I really think, but you can think about it for a minute, and I think you pretty much know what happens. Anytime that there's fear mongering that happens, we are literally living in a time right now where fear mongering is being peddled from the highest office, not only in this land, but by the person that is basically, yeah, right, fear mongering. So whenever there's fear mongering, there is panic, and there's mass panic, there's mass hysteria, and people act irrational. People act irrational when there is fear mongering because they don't know what to believe, they don't know what to trust, they don't know who to trust. And so this entire prohibition, and to bring some clarity here for those of you that don't know, and you consume alcohol today, the United States once had a prohibition on alcohol as well. And so, for more reasons than one, um, two things have always been true. Two things have always been abundantly true. Tiff will be back with us in just a second. But two things have always been abundantly true. That it doesn't matter what you ban, people are going to find it. But when you ban things that people really like, things that people feel that they need, of course, they riot. And so alcohol, was released from the period of prohibition, but weed obviously was not. So the purpose behind it was literally because they were fearful. And so as Tiff returns to us, Tiff, give me a nod if you're good to go. Okay. I mean, I can't hear you, but let's see if no, I don't have your audio. Look, this is what happens when you do live. This podcast is actually going to be hilarious. Come back. Actually, I'm random, and I like to do this. So every once in a while, I I like to make things exciting. So I brought. I didn't mean to do that to you, B. Sada. I brought one of my interns in.
Okay.
Hey, B. Sada, how are you?
Hey.
Hey, so we're trying to get Tiff together, and so
Okay.
we're talking about the topic. And so you did some of the research this week. I
I
don't have
did.
a lot of questions on this. So what did you find most interesting about what you saw in research?
With the marijuana, I found it interesting that there are specific cities in certain states that decriminalize marijuana, whereas the states themselves don't allow it within there. And I actually live in one of the cities where it's okay, Miami, Florida. And I was kind of shocked. I didn't know. I see a lot of like smoke shops and everything that have like CBD and all that, but I wasn't sure what was going on with that. And I just found out
Yeah,
that,
I mean
they're cool with that.
Miami, similar to New York City, Atlanta. You kind of see people. It's not legal yet, but you
Hmm.
see people walking. If they want to smoke it, they're pretty fearless because at this
Yeah.
point you can just get a ticket. And we'll talk about the decriminalization in a moment. So that I think you thought that was the most interesting thing this week.
Yeah, that was pretty, yeah, that was pretty interesting. There's a bunch of cities out there. So
Yeah, definitely. I think that the most interesting thing that I found is that there are people that still oppose the research.
yes.
And I think the most troubling thing for me has been, even with factual research, which maybe I'm not as surprised as I think I am, because we have solid research that the planet is warming,
Hmm.
uh, and we're not going to be here anymore. Things are dying. Species are dying.
Hmm.
Food is not the same. The climate is not the same, and people don't believe that either. So maybe I do believe that people just don't believe the research. It's awfully sad that they don't, but
They don't want to. They don't want to believe it.
they don't. They don't. So I'm not going to put you on the spot any further. But thanks.
No, no problem.
All right. So live. What can you do, right? Um, I really don't want to steal Tiff shine because there's a lot here and we're doing a lot here. But I think that most importantly, it's important for us to let me pull. I don't have a notebook like I used to do as an old man. Um, it's important to note that there's more public support for it actually being legal. I think Tiff is like she's coming in either way. She's just gonna deal with what she's dealing with, and I see her coming back. So, thanks for bearing with us, and thanks for listening. Hello.
Hello.
Listen,
I swear the government is listening to me and they are like, no, you will not educate the people.
listen. I sometimes things happen on live. I'm prepared for anything. So
Listen, I got 20 devices in this house. Something was going to work, okay?
it's cool. It's cool.
It is what it is.
I used to throw things to the field all the time, so I'm used to it. Welcome back.
Thank you.
So, when you left, we were at 1937, but that was 37 minutes ago. So,
Okay, so let me speed this story up.
yeah.
Black folks started moving up north. White folks got scared. They were like, nah, we got to ban this, yo. So federal government at the time states started to ban it from 1911 to 1933, and then the federal government banned it in 1937 with the Marijuana Act. And then the president of the time, Nixon, was like, hey, all y'all smart people, you scientists and all of y'all, why don't y'all go ahead and put science behind what I'm saying and let these people know that I'm not making this up? So he commissioned a report. This was 80 years ago. There was a LaGuardia report. Google me. I'm not making this up. There's also a documentary we'll talk about before we end. There was a LaGuardia report that completely contradicted what Nixon was saying. Buried it. They started releasing propaganda. They started releasing fake news, literally fake news about marijuana makes you crazy. There was someone called marijuana maniac who killed his family, and they blamed it on marijuana. He was a schizophrenic. Started doing all of this stuff. So that's when fake news started. Then they had
Wait, so you're saying that's when fake news started?
yes.
Because fat ass wasn't here yet.
Oh my God. You gonna make them cut my internet off again. So there was the LaGuardia report.
Actually, side note, I just can't wait for you to see the live shot of when you lost it because
I saw it.
yeah.
I literally was taking a sip of water and it just yeah. Anyway, um, so the LaGuardia report happened. They buried that fake news. Then fast forward to 1972, I think it was. And there was another report, the Schaefer report. They tried to bury that as well, but those folks that were commissioned that time actually said, hell no, screw you, and went on live TV and read the report to try and tell people there are no negative impacts to weed. It actually has medicinal benefits. Then,
So, for clarity's sake,
mm-hmm,
they commissioned scientists to disprove the fact that there were health benefits. They came back and said there are plenty of health benefits.
yes,
The government got pissed and
yes,
squandered the report.
yes.
Clear.
For the second time. This is now the second report
And
that
this
has
is
been
the
commissioned
United
by the
States.
federal
I don't
government.
want to say it too loud because I don't want them to come get me. But this is the United States government, right?
Yes, the
The
federal
United
government. That is
States.
correct. So, of course, in the 1970s, you have the whole hippie craze, and that's when the white people started to take on what the jazz greats were already doing, and they started to smoke weed. Well, everyone knows when somebody white starts doing something, well, now we've got to legalize it. So, and this is not a race thing. This is just the legit truth.
No, these are the
These are
facts.
the facts.
And white people, I really like. Let me talk to them real quick, Tiff.
Oh God,
Guys, you can't be black, okay? You don't want to accept it, but it's the truth. But if you want us to be friendly, do things for us. If you do it, it's gonna be legal. So why don't you help us out? What's the problem? I don't understand. You want every continue.
So 1971 comes the Controlled Substances Act, and that introduces the DEA, Drug Enforcement Administration, expands policing, we'll just say policing, and it introduces the scheduling of drugs. Now, Schedule 2, there's 5 schedules. Schedule 2 through 5, you can get a prescription for it. You can go into your drugstore for the most part. That's Robitussin, aspirin, Adderall, different schedules, but all of those you can get a prescription, you're fine. Schedule 1 is banned. It's said to have no medicinal benefits. It's banned federally at the federal level. Can't get a prescription, nothing.
Let me speak their language for you real quick that you didn't get her when she was talking schedules. You or your uncle or Pookie or Ray Ray or Bam Bam or whoever got locked
Not
up for
Bam
having
Bam.
a Schedule 1 drug, Class A felony,
Right.
20 years in a federal penitentiary.
Right.
That's what happened to us.
Right. So marijuana is classified with heroin, LSD, those types of drugs. You know, the ones that do have some negative side
The
effects,
shit that
but
burns
no
your
medicinal
fingernails off.
stuff. Right.
Yes.
So marijuana is in that same classification.
Okay.
Now CBD is now a Schedule 5 drug. So
I mean,
that's
CBD is marijuana.
is
It
they
is a chemical that is extracted from marijuana.
they separate it in the schedules. So
Got it.
marijuana is Schedule 1,
No,
CBD is
THC
Schedule
is
5.
Schedule One, so it's the THC that's still Schedule One.
Right. Yes. So excuse me. We go through all of this. There's another report, like I said, the
Schedule
Schaefer
One me
report.
up. Okay, go.
All right. All right. There's another report, the Schaefer report in 1972. Like I said, that's the one that they read on national television. Fast forward to now, we're starting to see, as Beseda said, cities decriminalizing it. Atlanta is one. If you should so happen to be walking down the street smoking something, unless Georgia State Patrol catches you, you're fine. You're not going to jail. Now, the problem in this country is most states still have it where it is banned. They go with the letter of the law of the federal level. Um, and then, of course, we have states with three strikes law. So that is what is also happening to all your cousins, your uncles, and all of them. If they are caught with, it can be one blunt in their back pocket or whatever, and they're caught with it. If it's the third time they've been caught with one blunt at, let's say, $10, $15, $20 worth of value, they can go to jail for 15 to 20 years. That is what's happening. So
This is America, people. This is
this
your
is
America.
this is your
This is my
America.
America. This is damn America.
They are literally locking up brown people at alarming rates. We have one of the worst incarceration rates on the planet. It's really ridiculous. And truth be told, we're not that old of a country to have the incarceration rates
I
that we
say this
have.
all the time. I
We're
say
not
that
that
so
old.
often. Listen, I say that so often. A friend of mine, I was just talking to him a couple hours before the show, and he's like, "Weren't you just telling me like that we're not that old, and that we should really pay attention because every great world power has always fallen."
I'm just saying.
Hey, I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm not saying that we're at the end. I'm not saying that um, you assholes put Donald Trump in office.
Wow. Wow.
I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. I was still here, but I wasn't here. And I think I was pressing buttons. I'm sorry. So anyway, my point is, I said Donald Trump, and that you see you. God.
I'm telling you,
All
they
right.
listening tonight.
So here's the thing, right? Um, America's 243 years old.
I need you to repeat that.
243 years. The Constitution was ratified in the year 1776. Now, when you start getting in numbers, and you start making people feel uncomfortable. White people, I'm off of y'all. I know I already made you feel uncomfortable. I just asked you to do some things for me, or I'm gonna make you uncomfortable all the time. Like just a reminder that people like me could not vote till 1968.
Which was yesterday.
My dad was 8.
Yesterday. It was yesterday.
I mean, so when you want to talk about equality and we're all the same, you have the same rights I do. Getting
Okay.
a little passionate. I'm getting a little passionate. Okay, so let's fast forward. All of this happened. Bring us into modern day.
So now we have legalization beginning to happen. Now we have Colorado making over $200 million in revenue. Now we have,
You seen that Oprah GIF? I'm sorry, Viola Davis.
right, right.
Come on.
But at the same time, we now have an alarming rate of Black and brown people in jail for something that people are now making money for selling.
Millions of dollars. Like
Millions,
millions.
like
No,
projected
not millions. Millions.
millions.
Every single consonant and vowel in that word needs to be said.
And
Millions. You are making millions of millions.
it's projected to turn into billions.
It will.
Billions. But we can't participate because we have records,
No,
because you've been
we can't
locking us up.
participate in the ownership.
Right. We cannot participate in the ownership. One, because in order to start a cannabis business in a lot of these places, you have to have liquid cash. And I'm talking a coin or six.
Not a credit score.
No, you got to have cash, stacks, bread, moolah, all the things. And a lot of people don't have the amount of cash, and I'm talking hundreds of thousands of dollars, to start these businesses. Not only that, of course, it's a rigorous process in a lot of places where it is legal and where you can sell it. It takes quite a bit. It's just a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. But again, all of that beside the point. Even if you have a bunch of money, even if you're good, you go through the application process and all of that works out just fine, hypothetically speaking, you still, if you have ever been arrested for anything, record of any kind, you're probably not going to get approved. You probably will not be able to participate in the ownership stakes and participate in these millions will turn into billions of dollars industry.
Question.
Yes.
Who are the approvers?
Well, I'm so glad you asked. That would be the same people who've been locking the brown people up.
No.
So
This
there
is
are,
equality, right? That's what
yes.
we're talking about.
So there are a couple of things that I know you and I really wanted to dive into tonight, and we hit some of it. We hit the root of prohibition. We hit and we will continue to hit being Black in America during the age of marijuana legalization and what that happens. And I don't know if you saw this today or not. I'm sure you did because you're like me and you get all the push alerts. But is it Denver that just made mushrooms legal? Hallucinogenic mushrooms legal? Did you see that?
I did not see that.
I think it was Denver. I'm gonna go through my push
I
alerts.
don't want that.
I don't want that, but I mean, come on. But I really want us.
But here's the thing, right? And I got into the Hangover movies like really, really late because stupid white
Wow.
people are never funny to me. But the Hangover was funny. And my question is, because a lot of people, and when we talk Black culture, like old grandmas be like, baby, they know people smoke it.
They
I mean,
smoked it.
I mean, you know how it is. I mean, I've been, I won't call myself the good child, but just, I was focused. I was very focused. I can say at this point, I would be in that group of cousins that leaves right before Thanksgiving dinner is ready. We got to run to the store real quick. Because when we come back, we're all eating everything inside. So my question is, did you die?
Listen,
Main question, most important question that we're asking you tonight, for anyone that hears this, anyone you share this with, um, the main question on the table, the main thing that you should know is that not one person, not one, not one person. I'm trying to look at you with my my serious news space, not one person ever has ever perished because of marijuana. Hasn't happened. There's no record. We can't find them.
That's because they don't exist. They don't exist.
Because it's never happened.
It just doesn't happen. You cannot die. Let's actually go through some of the benefits of this weed that if you should so happen to light it up, there are some side effects. Asthma.
I have that.
I have that as well. It's very beneficial. I will be honest, I am a proponent of using CBD, especially for medicinal reasons. I have asthma. I could not breathe one night before I went to bed. I have some CBD that I have purchased and took some, and literally it cleared my chest right up. And I don't know if y'all remember those commercials where they were talking about asthma and the little kid said, it feels like an elephant is pressing on my chest. That's literally what asthma feels like.
Literally what it feels like.
Literally what it feels like.
So you're telling me
breathe.
that you smoked to breathe?
Yes. That's exactly what I'm telling you.
Okay. All right.
I literally took some CBD and almost instantly, literally instantly, it opened my lungs, my chest.
I'm not trying to get all holy or anything like that.
Right up.
But I feel like God loves his people.
I feel like God has given us the earth. We always talk about, well, not we, because clearly America has a obesity issue and it's spreading throughout the world. But a lot of doctors are beginning to talk about food being your medicine. Food is of the earth. A lot of people, I read an article the other day that said that Beyond Meat, a really popular vegan meat company, is having a hard time keeping up with the demand because people are realizing the meat that is being produced nowadays is killing us. It's not your mama's meatloaf today is not your grandmama's meatloaf from back in the day. That's not the same meat, okay? It's just not. So if we are beginning to slowly see that transition of food being your medicine, who is it, I wonder, could it be the pharmaceutical companies or big business or big pharma that does not want us to start using CBD and this plant that really has medicinal benefits? It's been proven 80 years ago with the LaGuardia report, 40 years ago with the Schaefer report, multiple studies since then, no deaths reported directly tied to marijuana. None, not one. It doesn't happen. Meanwhile, cancer comes from cigarettes, and that's legal. You can go to your grocery store and buy a pack of Newports or Camels.
Alcohol and cigarettes
will kill you. And cigarettes.
They will kill you.
And it's proven to kill you. Marijuana? No. It doesn't do anything.
Well, a lot of people don't know this, but your liver is a regenerating organ.
Right. Which is why they always say if someone needs a liver transplant, you can donate a piece of your liver to someone and it will begin to regenerate and grow within them. They'll be fine. You don't have to donate an entire liver to somebody for them to be okay. Our bodies can do amazing things. The earth can do amazing things to heal our bodies. Why are we not using it more? And I'm not saying that I'm completely against big pharma. I do think that there are benefits to that as well. I just think that we overuse it when I shouldn't have to take a pill to cure a hangnail and a side effect is suicidal thoughts. That's a bit much.
I don't like pills, and I really only take them as needed. I can't.
As needed.
I don't do sleep aids. I don't do I'm not taking something to knock me out.
I'll be honest, my sleep aid is CBD because guess what? It relaxes you. So listen, all of those deaths.
If you're having a problem, you don't have an appetite.
Well, you need THC for that. That's something different.
Well, we got you. So, and I think it's important that you hit that because it's so important to cover the fact that this is the inclusive conversation.
Right.
We're talking about marijuana. We're talking about legalization. We're talking about blackness. But in all of that, health is important.
Absolutely.
And so I think it's like I go through phases. Not a vegan, never been, don't plan to be. But I go through phases that I just can't eat the meat. You kind of triggered me here, and I tell people this all the time, right? If there's 7.53 something billion people on Earth, I'm on the planet, how is there enough chicken? There's not enough chickens for all of us to eat, period. There's just not. Because there's not 7.53 chickens on Earth. We're not producing chickens at a rate fast enough. You know, this is not. And so there's 3.5 billion people in the United States. There's not enough room for all of those cows.
How?
There's
Where?
not. So things to think about. I mentioned that you thought I was going off script, but those are questions that you should think about when you start indulging in THC. You'll be thinking all night.
Will. Don't have friends around. Dear God, it'll be a great old time. But, the Drug Policy Alliance, the DPA, believes that marijuana should be removed from the criminal justice system and regulated like alcohol and tobacco.
So
And,
problem though, problem. How do you remove it from the criminal justice system?
child,
Because then you have to let criminals out.
right, which some states are already doing, and some other states are trying to do.
Well, here's the thing, right? Like, so any homemaker is frustrated because all of the criminals are like people in places like Georgia. No shade, but y'all are on my shit list this week. Georgia is horrible. Okay,
Listen,
like really, like
I live
on
in
my shit
Atlanta,
list.
not Georgia.
So any homemaker is really upset because we're like she's gonna sign the House Republicans. They Senate Republicans. We can't let a bunch of criminals out. They're not really criminals. Don't want to hear that. The other reason we can't let them out is because we have private prisons here. And people,
Ooh,
old, rich, white men, I probably have to say that every show. I watched some of our past shows, and I've said it every show. But old, rich white men have been hella problematic for us as a culture. One would argue that they're the founding fathers of this country. One, my damn founding father, but like it, they weren't thinking about fathering nothing but my great 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 auntie's bastard child.
this is probably why I'm in an Alexander Hamilton mood tonight, because it's just a really informative play. Hamilton is a really informative play. And it really shows you how immigrants literally, I mean, we already knew this, but immigrants built this country.
I don't like when
Period.
they call us immigrants.
Well, not us. We were slaves. Immigration to me means you are, the immigrants that are trying to come up from the Mexican
Technically,
border,
we
that they
did
are.
immigrate, EMI, but we are not immigrants.
We are not immigrants.
No, we're not them.
But I have let me say, I don't disagree with the DPA, the Drug Policy Alliance. I do think that it needs to be removed from the criminal justice system. However, I think that the difficulty in that is, one, a lot of booming businessmen and women who are now making money off of the drug that has been throwing brown people in prisons, private and otherwise, don't want them to come out. So that's going to be problem number one. Two is we have got to get through our defeated mindset, because they have destroyed generations of Black and brown families. Generations, through slavery, through systemic issues of you throwing us in jail for a blunt or for, you name it, broken tail light, not failure to signal. and then we end up hanged in our jail cell. And you blame the marijuana. Walking down the street with the lemonade and Skittles, and you blame marijuana. Walking down the street away from an officer, you shoot me in the back, and you blame the marijuana in my system. Never mind the fact that
Bahudin in his house, in his
in his
apartment,
house, minding his own business. Whew, that story actually
police officer,
really pissed me
okay?
off.
Police officer comes in, shoots him dead. I was in the wrong apartment, but we found marijuana.
Whew.
My God, today. That's what came out instead of God damn it. But that's really what, like,
I just don't
what the
understand.
hell? What the hell?
I don't understand. Canada made $1.3 billion. Billion. That's with a B. B is in boy. Billion. Okay. We have got to. There are a couple of things that have to happen. One, I do think that it would be good to regulate, at least as a starting point. If we want to regulate marijuana use, fine. You can't have so many milligrams in your system and drive or operate heavy machinery. Fine, whatever.
Most of the time you don't want to.
Listen,
But continue.
most of the time you don't want to, because everybody that I know that has smoked weed, hypothetically in all the legal places, just wants to eat and chill. Look at Snoop Dogg. Hell, Martha Stewart. The list could go on.
I just like to laugh. Because I like to laugh generally. So
And do your research. Like, literally, before I took the CBD for my asthma, I Googled it. Google is a wonderful thing. I just Googled it. Hey, will this dilate my bronchial tubes? Yes, it will. You should take some if you can't breathe. Fantastic. Sounds great. We have got to, again, one, remove it from the criminal justice system, as in taking it off of the Schedule 1 list. It should not be banned. It has medicinal purposes. Let's stop that. That's just ridiculous. Two, let's follow along with what some of these cities and states are doing and expunging these felony records of people who were caught with $5 and $10 worth of weed in their back pocket and maybe got caught more than once. So now they have the 3 strike laws against them, which Joe Biden helped make. That's a different conversation. So let's start expunging those records, and let's help people and create more programs for people who do want to become owners in this booming industry. Become owners, not just Black, not just brown. It can be for everybody. I don't really care who owns it, but stop trying to prevent and enlist multiple versions and varieties of systemic oppression against brown people. It's really ridiculous. And every decade or every few decades, it seems to be something different. You brought our asses over here in a boat, made us slaves, then we got free. Oh, but you can't vote. You don't have no rights. Then when we got rights, okay, I guess you can vote. Oh, but if you are this, actually you can't vote. Oh, okay, well, I guess all of y'all can vote. That's fine. But we're only going to give you this section of the area. Don't go to Forsyth. Not allowed over there. Or, okay, you can go wherever you want, but now we're going to give you the trash books and the trash educational systems so that you can't get beyond to where you are. Oh, we're going to make sure that Junebug is locked up so that that mother of 3 is by herself. And now we're going to make sure crack is in your community so that, weed is a bad thing. So, here's this crack that just happens to be in your community, and he's taking away all of your resources in the community so that you end up on this crack, so that you then destroy multiple generations of your family because you're raising kids, but there's no one to help you because, we locked them up in jail. What? Oh, well, now we're going to make it legal, but you're already in jail. So you actually can participate in the ownership of this because you have a record. And it's hard to get a job with a record. So good luck.
You nailed it.
I don't know what to tell you.
My challenge for you, my question for you, because you owned that. I'm leaving it there because I have nothing else. I'll mind my business and do what I do. Okay? Like, who is we? Because we need to make some changes, but who is we? I feel
Listen,
like every week we come back to the collective question because see, me, you, we can do something, but we can't do everything. So
right.
you listener, you watcher, you viewer, you whatever, until you become part of the we, stop complaining. Yeah,
And to
and
answer
that's the
that,
problem with you get this information. Even when you get this information from other places, people are like,
right.
"Well, it's something we need to take. Call your congressman." Fuck, don't you take
Flew right on
control?
out.
You take control. Take control. Get involved. Go find out what's going on. Like what's you. The thing is like calling these assholes. What does that do? What does that do? You know what happens? You know what you when you really start to make a difference? When you start to petition their office for records, when you start getting in their business and pissing them off because you start finding out what exactly they voted for.
Yep.
Then you start finding out the people that are in jail from your area. See, all of this stuff is open records. So you can literally petition the courts, you can petition and I am somebody that feels like as an American citizen that wouldn't have been if I was born, like, I mean, I would not have had the right to vote when I was born if I had been born before 68. Somebody that has a lineage of people that have been oppressed in this country, I take advantage of it. So sometimes I do call just to talk. Sometimes I have called every switchboard in this country. I've called the Smithsonian. I've called the White House. I have called Congress, both houses, the House and the Senate. I have called state legislatures. I just like to talk to somebody and talk about some of my grievances, or I have some questions. And these type of things, because if you don't get involved, if you don't start making a difference, if you don't start saying, like, I have questions about this, why are you doing this? I'm not just talking about we're so comfortable behind Twitter. That's great. They see it, they block you. I know I'm blocked by a lot of people, okay?
A lot of
You,
people.
you know what? The former mayor of Atlanta didn't unblock me until about 6 months before he got out of office, which that's how I know he was reading my damn tweets if you went and unblocked me. So
And
that
we
gets
don't
the
need,
message, but it does not solve the problem. We
right,
collectively, you, me, he, she, we solve the
brown,
problem.
white, purple, yellow, black, whatever.
But
Any
back to you
color.
white people. Hey, Jim, hey, listen,
I
Jim,
can't.
you probably can get this passed. You can get our message across. I
You can help
know
us
you
own
see us
stuff.
talking about the cookout all the time. If you really want to come, we'll save you a plate.
You know what?
But like,
No, but you're right. We have to. I too have bothered the hell out of my representatives. I don't care. I have sent emails. I have called. I have shown up to meetings. I will show up to a town hall meeting in a second. Now they will try to trick you, and some places have legal. Uh, what's the word I'm trying to look for?
they
They
have
have a
closed
legal
sessions
obligation to let you know. Some of them, like you said, have closed sessions.
every
But
once in a while, but your
right.
general city council meeting isn't closed.
It isn't closed. And y'all have seen those signs. I know you've seen those signs and we ignore them. One, because we driving, but two, because we're like, I am not reading
Because
all that text. They
they're
do that
usually
intentional.
old. They're posted up like on a brown. It looks like a brown street sign. They posted up talking about when they're gonna have a random meeting. And you like,
Yep.
I don't even know what that is. I don't know where that
Yep.
is. This is all
Yep.
intentional because they don't want your ass.
Yep.
They definitely don't want your black ass in there
Right.
causing a ruckus,
Right.
Uncle Ruckus.
Cause that ruckus. Now I'm not saying go burn a building down or anything like that, but you go collect 10 of your neighbors and go to that meeting. You grab 20 of your church members from Sunday morning and go sit in your in Atlanta it's the Gold Dome. Go sit in that Gold Dome. There are multiple community events where you can see when your representative is going to be at a particular meeting voting on a particular issue or whatever in your area, in your city, in your state. Go to it. Take half a day off if you have to and go to it. If you can't go,
It's
tell
all
all your people
online.
who can go.
It's all online.
It's
All you got
all
to
of the
do,
information is online.
Google it.
Go,
Don't just Google it. Go to last
go.
name dot. If you're looking for your state representative, your senator, lastname.senate.gov.
Yep,
Same thing for your House of Representatives people.
yep,
Lastname.house.gov. You know what?
yep.
They all got multiple offices. They probably have multiple offices in your state. They have an office in Washington, D.C. You call every single one until somebody tells you where that bastard is. I got something to say.
And participate, vote. Like I know, and we've said this before. We said this when Stacey Abrams
They're gonna
lost.
hate me election 2020 because I have not even been activated yet. But
Listen to me. I am, whew, I told someone today I got things to say, but that's for another night. I know that we, as disenfranchised, systemically oppressed, um, whatever, you name it, the grouping, a lot of us have that defeated mindset of, I voted, it didn't do anything. I did that, it didn't do anything. I went there, it didn't do anything. I'm only one person, it didn't do anything. When I talk to people, they don't listen. When I try and ask people, they're not coming with me. Keep doing it. Keep going. Keep voting. Keep spreading the information. Keep, because eventually something will give. Lucy Macbeth,
I'm gonna
Alexandria
give you. I'm gonna give you another aside to
Cortez.
that. To keep doing it. Otherwise, they will keep oppressing you.
Yep.
The
And or pacifying you. And I can't. I mean, we have got to, we just got to do better. It's really ridiculous. The incarceration rates are ridiculous. The amount of people that are in jail because of a three strikes law, the amount of people that can't get a job or have to work, below what their family actually needs. We have got to do better in this country. Dang, I almost cussed. Screw Donald Trump's taxes. He's a loser. We've been knowing he's a loser. I don't care. There are literally people rotting in jail serving 20, 30-year life sentences because they had a blunt in their back pocket. And it's now legal in 8 states, becoming legal in more, decriminalized in 15 cities. Come on. Like it's literally no deaths come from this.
for those of you that
Stop
have been having
blaming.
trouble getting a job, I know it's very expensive to live here, but the New York City Council did pass a law that is illegal to test for THC. Uh, so you're gonna have a drug test. But if you're smoking cocaine, or smoking crack, snorting and doing all that, I can't help you. But if you just smoke a little weed, you can come to New York and get a job. If you're on probation in New York City, they also can't test you for THC.
Somebody's going to watch this and say, what?
Well, I mean, and they did it because we're having trouble getting the law passed, and that's because there's so many people that are in jail here in the
Right,
state of New York, in New York State.
right.
Um, and so the borough that I live in, Brooklyn, um, they're really, really intentional. Every Saturday, they're letting people out like clockwork. Signs up everywhere, train stations, like it's something that they're really doing. We are out of time.
So before we go, I highly encourage, some of that information that I got in the beginning of this was from an amazing documentary called Grass is Greener on Netflix. I cannot encourage everyone enough to watch it. Some of y'all will make you mad. I'm going to be honest. There were parts of it that I cried during. I just had to pause it and take a minute. But
Oh, don't cry.
listen, they were angry tears. They were sad tears. They were frustrating tears, frustrated tears. But at the end of the day, it definitely encouraged me, that we can do this. We really can affect change, but it's going to take all of us, not just the Black people, not just the brown people. It's going to take all of us to start being the change and making the changes that we want to see in this country. Because I'm going to be honest, right now, we suck. We are a laughing stock in a lot of other countries. Our dollar value is going down. It's we're doing horrible. We're more concerned about what bathroom somebody's gender is using than the people that are literally dying on our streets, and the cities that still don't have clean water, and their kids are still dying from when they had completely dirty, disgusting lead-filled water,
Corroded
and they
pipes.
still don't have any fixes that are permanent. Like, those people are impacted for life, but we care about what bathroom somebody is using. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if you're gay and get married. I don't care. Like, I don't care if you smoke marijuana, because if I go down Cortland right now, there's a whole line up of homeless people because they're closing the homeless shelters in the city of Atlanta. That is what I care about. If you want to smoke your blunt, go ahead. I don't care. It's not killing you. It's not killing me. You're cancer sick. You're cigarette sick. That is killing me because I have asthma. I can't smell that. I literally have to walk away. So let all of us, brown, black, purple, white, yellow, I don't really care what color, race, whatever you are, religion, whatever, can we please just start working together to make this country a better place and make it be the place that the country they think they're coming to, let's actually make it that place. Land of the free, home of the brave, all of that other BS that's in all of the America, the beautiful songs that we sing that really don't mean shit because we're not actually living them out in this country. I'm done.
I just got an alert that pissed me off. So on that note, you're right. We can make, dare I say, we can collectively make America great again. Um, I'm sorry, America's never been great. I can't believe I just said that out of my mouth. Because no, we can make America great. Period.
Period.
That should be somebody's campaign slogan. I'm giving it away for free. Whoever the Democratic nominee is, make America great. Period. You can
Which
say
I have a
period
preference already, but I won't say
on
who it
period
is.
the culture. Okay, do it on period. Tiff, how do they keep up with you?
You can keep up with me at tifflanelleverywhere.com, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and I just rejoined Snapchat. But if you join my Snapchat, I mean, be prepared.
She
But
don't
Tiff
like to
Lanelle
cuss.
everywhere.
She doesn't like to cuss here like me, but on Snapchat, beware.
I'm
I've been on Snapchat, but I'm only on there. Um, yeah.
like on Cinco de Mayo when we were
Mm,
out.
I, no, I, I follow some interesting things there. I'm Alex Unmuted. You can follow me everywhere. Also, alexunmuted.com. Okay. I would like to plug the little weekend countdown show that I host on our parent radio network, Boss FM. Boss One is the channel. Check it out. It plays all weekend long. It's the hottest countdown in the country. And I like to plug that just because it's going to be popular. We will be back next week with more to unpack in this culture. Okay, we said it at the beginning. If you missed it, this show is live on Wednesdays at 10 p.m. All right. Uh,
And if you have topics you want us to cover, tweet us. We don't bite, I promise. Tweet us, let us know, IG us. That's not a thing, but you know what I'm trying to say. Send us your thoughts, and we'll be talking about politics too. But
Yeah, we got a lot of interesting stuff coming up. It's really about
yeah,
to get interesting. And I don't know if we call what we're going through right now a beta phase, but look, I love a technical difficulty because it shows you that we're human. Ain't nobody
yep,
trying to be perfect. We're just trying
nope,
to be honest. We're trying to be
yep,
honest. We're trying to be honest. We're trying to be real. We're trying to connect, and that's what we need to do. So we have to have these conversations because they're important. Like I have said in the previous weeks, conversations that your family should have been having, we gonna have every damn week. On that note, we can ride out. He takes pictures with celebrities. It's amazing to me. Hey, yo, Trump president, police, they killing black men. I'm looking at. We're out. Have a great evening.
I just can't.
What's going on, man? I'm feeling disrespected. If he can run, then why can't I? I know they gonna try to say 'cause I